Hello everybody. Got my new camera here. I don't know how this is going to work. Some people had asked me about what I use to climb trees with, and I use I did a video on that earlier. I use basically use a lock-on, a Lone Wolf with the climbing sticks, and I use a Summit tree climber. Well, this video is about the Summit climber. I have a Summit open shot. This is it right here, and some folks don't like climbers. I actually prefer a climber to the lock-on, unless it's a place I'm going to leave a lock-on for a long time, where I can just go climb up and down and not carry anything. But for running and gunning and suitable trees, I like this Summit a lot. I actually feel safer hunting in this Summit. And a couple reasons for that. Number one, I wear, the safety belt like everybody should. And I hook to the tree as I'm going up. Every time I go up with my thing, I'm hooked to the tree. And I just like it. It's what I've used. I've used tree climbers pretty much my whole life, other than a lock-on and a woodpecker drill. And then just the last, I think I've had the Lone Wolf with the sticks, maybe 3 years, something like that, and I've killed some deer with it. But here we go. This is it. This is a Summit, an old Summit open shot. It's a two-piece climber, and I'm going to point the camera down here. I'm not going to climb this tree, but I'm going to point the camera down here and show you kind of my rig. Let me get it going here. All right, the way I do when I come up to the tree, first of all, I try not to handle nothing with my hands here. I don't want any scent down here. I actually, like I'm touching the tree, I try not to handle anything. I'll take in I have these ties here. You still can't see. I need to put this down. Let's try that. You can't see me, but you can see what I'm doing. I have these bungee cords on here. I come up to the tree, take those off. Be sure you get the ones that's got a rubber coating on them so they don't make racket. And I'll have my rubber boots on, right? And I'll put one in each boot. I'll tuck it in the sides right here. And I'm gonna throw them down now. But then I'll set the top piece. I'll set it to the side. All my stuff is misaligned here than where I normally do it. And I'll actually have my bowstring for pulling my bow up right here. I'll go ahead and get it loose as well. I left in a hurry with it the other day and didn't have it quite took down like I normally do. You want to have a string that's tied to the two pieces, to connect the two pieces, because it would be a bad feeling to be hanging up there by this and the bottom part fall down there to the bottom of the tree. These things are really simple and quiet. I take and unhook it like that. I'll lay the top one to the side. Do this one. Go around the tree with it, and you'll see it's fairly quiet. I'm gonna break that out the way. We're not deer hunting, and it's in my way. And that one's set in place there. And you'll learn to look up there and judge about which slot you need for adjustment. Then I go with my top piece. It's ready to go. I have my, naturally I'm doing a video, I got sticks and everything killing me right here. Tie my bow and quiver, whatever I'm going to pull up, tie it on, drop it to the side. This thing is ready to go. And all you do, I'm not going to climb, you use your elbows. You can pull up the Summit video, use your elbows and your feet, and you go up with this thing. You see how fast I hooked it on there. I'll be up the tree. I'll be up the tree in just a matter of 2 minutes. I'll be up there and sit down. And say you got some limbs, you got to, with a climber, you got to have a tree It don't have to be straight, but it can't have a lot of limbs because you got to be able to go up it, you know. It's really good for pines, good for, I really like to climb gum trees because the bark's soft, and I really like to climb gum trees. A water oak like this, it's got a hard bark, and it's a little aggravating to climb, but it's still safe. But I just take a bite with it, pull my feet up, and then I raise my belt up each time. I have my belt on there. It goes up each time. I'm never unhooked. When I get up there, I have my backpack on my back. When I get up there, I'll take my backpack off, screw the deal in there, hang it on there, do my camera arm, get all my cameras set up, turn around and sit down. And the bungee cords, I have them in my boot, right, that I pack the stand with. I take one out, and I'll secure it from here. This is messed up. I'll wrap one here, go around it, and hook it there, you know, to secure that thing against the tree, that top piece and the bottom piece. But I do that in case I stand up. I stand up and maybe bump this top piece, it won't drop down and make noise. So that's why I have the two bungee cords handy right there. Also, one thing, when you set this top piece, make sure when you have it, like you're as high as you want to get, now you're fixing to set, make sure that it's taller than the rubber boots, because I've stood up before, my boot grab this and make noise. So make sure it's taller than the height of your rubber boots. And I mean, it's open stand. You got to learn how to set it, you know, because there's a spot you can't shoot, but there's spots you can't shoot out of a lock-on pretty much too. But this is really convenient, in and out. I really love it. And if you look it up, I bet it weighs less than that Lone Wolf and those sticks. I'm not taking anything away from that. I like those, but it's just, as I get older, simple is better. And it's a lot of work for me to climb up and hook them sticks. And my buddy Jason, he makes that look so easy doing that, you know, and that's what he uses all the time. But I prefer this climber, I really do. But it's a good climber. And you'll do things like I've got this really beefed up right here. Actually, I got this climber from my good friend Thomas Van. We did some horse trading, and he already had this, but I would have did the same thing. It's padded up there for your elbows. It's got little stirrups on it so your feet don't come out. And you just never overextend yourself. You take little bites and work your way up the tree. It's pretty quiet. It's louder on a hard bark tree like this and on a pine naturally, in the bark and all. But if you're hunting in the flatwood, sometimes there's nothing but a pine to climb around here. But the gum trees, or even a cypress, it works really good. And you have to maybe set it at the bottom. If the tree is wider at the bottom and tapers a lot, you get where you're good at knowing where to set it. I change these cables every 2 years. I just changed them last year. I don't leave the stand out in the weather other than climbing at night and leaving it till the next morning. And it's just a good stand. Some people that asked what I used. I bought me 2 old rifle slings at Walmart. They were like $10 each. And that's what I used for my straps. I got them tied on there with cord. And it's a really good deal. I keep these couple of these where I can find it in the dark. And it's a good stand, And they're pretty expensive now. I think, you know, they probably Thomas give like $150 for this one back in the day. But anyway, there's my Summit open shot tree climber. It's a really comfortable stand. You can sit there, and if you're on a long sit and your legs are a little cramped, you can unhook your bungee cord and maybe move this thing up a little bit. When it's prime time, I like this thing to be pretty high, so it's easier for me to get up off of it. But always, one thing though, remember not to have it too low, because it's hard to get up quietly if you have a deer come under you. Plus, your rubber boots will hang up under it right there. And another thing on my rubber boots, those Lacrosse, they have this little buckle and latch on the back. I cut that off. It serves no purpose. It only straps, like, it still don't tighten it up around my leg. And they'll rub against this, even a lock-on, they'll rub against stuff, so I cut that off of them rubber boots. There you go, Summit open shot. If I had to tell somebody, if they asked me what's the best climber to get, I'd have to, from my experience, I'd have to go with this. I had one of the Lone Wolf's sit and climb, I mean not sit and climb, but you know, climb with your elbows. and I really didn't like it. It would climb any tree, and it's just personal. It was too small. The seat was uncomfortable, and you can get a netting seat for this, but that's a big old thick cushion right there, and you'll learn if the tree's leaning towards you, that's going to be an uncomfortable sit. You want to try to, if you can pick a tree out, you know, which you normally can't, but always be over the knot so the tree is leaning away from you, even a little bit. And you learn how to figure that out as you go. But I would recommend the Summit Open Shot if you want to use a climber. All right, it's hot right here this morning. And some guys had asked me about what climber I use, and there you have it. And this is a fine climber. I really like it, but it's all in what you're getting used to. Too many times we'll buy something, use it one time, and really don't have the bugs out of it, but we won't like it. You got to give it a fair shake. You got to use it over and over and get the bugs out. There's things you'll do to it, like the bungee cord thing. I use it to pack it with, and I use it to secure it to the tree. It's not going to fall off. Well, this way, if you stand up, let me show you something. This is why it's important to secure this right here, and to make sure it's higher than your boots, because there's a deer walking out here, you don't have it secured. He's right there about 12 yards. You're trying to stand up, your boot touches that, and that's what happens. So, and I say that from experience. So you make sure you secure that to the tree. I mean, you're not going to fall out of the tree or nothing, but it made noise. You can put that on there, secure it with that with those bungees, and you're good to go. And it only takes a minute. See what I'm talking about? It only takes a minute to do that. You hook it there, and there you go. It ain't going nowhere now. It works good. Y'all have a good, safe hunting season. Keep the good Lord first. Be thankful for your blessings. I was fortunate. I looked into one little small deer day before yesterday, so I won't get skunked. I've killed one deer and one hog. A hog in February, and now a deer. And I hope to be hunting in some prime spots starting this afternoon. So maybe we'll have some good videos coming at you pretty soon. Thank y'all for watching. Keep the good Lord first, and smile. God loves you.